Hey, good morning. How's it going, everyone? This is Charles with Charles E. Snyder III Marketing, and this is my second episode of Charles Snyder Raw. It's unscripted, unedited, and um, sometimes unintelligible. And I just talk about what's going on in business every day, and talk about my personal journey from uh, doing the whole working for someone else to building my business to the point where I don't have to work for someone else and I create jobs for other people. As I stated yesterday, it kind of, rambled on about some things and brought it full circle into the whole how do you create mental discipline, that inner struggle that we all kind of deal with and very few people actually talk about. Today, again, I'm pretty tired when I woke up this morning. Um, I've been pushing myself. I've only been getting about, 5.5, 6 hours sleep every day. And the reason for that is actually once I got into doing stuff yesterday, um, I didn't want to stop. And I kept working through um, till about 3:30, 4 a.m., somewhere in that neighborhood. I think it was about between 3 and 3:30 I went to bed, and that's because I was finishing up working on the previously mentioned 2020 Vivid Vision that I've been kind of um, working on off and on since, I think it was a week. Yeah, it was the week after Thanksgiving. It was either the week before or the week after, somewhere around in there. That's when I started working on it because actually uh, today's today's episode is going to be basically about feeding your brain, getting ideas, getting yourself educated, developing new skills, which ties into with it was the week before, week after Thanksgiving of this year is when I actually attended a webinar or online training session with a fellow named Cameron Harold. And let me just pull that down quick. Cameron is actually a published author. Uh, he's also a fairly big name in many business circles because of his work with chief operating officers. He's the founder of the COO, the Chief Operating Officer Alliance. Um, and he does a lot with like business building, developing company culture and stuff like that. And one of his books that I've been reading is Double Double, which actually goes into the whole vivid vision thing as part of developing that company culture. He also has two other books, which I thought was pretty good. Meeting Sucks and The Miracle Morning. I haven't even started reading either one of these. I've been so tied up with working on the whole 2020 Vivid Vision for myself and my company that I haven't gotten into checking them out yet. But anyway, the whole point of it is I found out about that through education. Tuesdays are conference call days for me where I spend the entire day just in webinars and reading and phone conference calls and just trying to absorb as much as I can, which resulted in me developing what I call the 2020 Vivid Vision for my business. And just real quick, As you can see, this is actually on my company's website. I got it published last night, and I went about and got, did the work on the back end to get it actually up on a website, which is why I was up until uh, some ungodly time in the morning. And this is the result right here. And as you can see, this is directly on my company website. And I'm not going to insult your intelligence, but you can go on there, check it out, and read all the. It's 6 pages of just information where I developed a vision, a vivid vision of what my business and my life is going to look like by December 31st of 2020. That's why it's called the 2020 Vivid Vision. But I thought it worked pretty good too because of the year, 2020 eyesight, etc. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it's on the website. If you want to check it out, you're more than welcome to read it. But feed your brain. Like I said, I make it a point every week that I'm not on deployment, and even uh, most weeks when I am on deployment, if I can finagle the time, Tuesdays I'm in training. I'm learning, trying to feed my brain, learn more from the people who have successful businesses or have a lifestyle that I'm interested in, and um, I'm trying to replicate their success with my own life and my business, and you know that's where it's at. I mean, you know, life's too short to try and figure all this out on our own. I believe in that personally. That you know, there's just not enough. You know, there's not enough time in a day. There's not enough time in a year to make all the mistakes on my own. I'd rather learn them from someone else to avoid those mistakes and just get to the part where, my business is doing better because of it. I'm making, and it's not even because of the money. I couldn't care less about the money. I just like the options that it brings, the choices that you're able to make, the time that you're able to have. And, that's really important to me because, I'm almost 50 years old, and, I'm engaged. Probably we're going to be getting married. I'm not sure when, but, this is very important for me and my fiance, and she wants to start a family. So it's really important for me this late in the game to, um, to have those options, to have, uh, the ability to spend time with her. And God forbid if we have some munchkins running around, sometime in the next, year or two after we get married, preferably, that, I have time to spend with the kids. So, yeah, I mean, it's really important as far as that goes. So you're more than welcome to check it out. I have a copy of it right on the website. The whole purpose of the Vivid Vision is to share it with everyone so that everyone has an understanding of, what I'm trying to do as a business owner, as well as, the direction that I see the business moving in, so that, my fiance and I, as we're working on the business, she understands, the vision I have or the direction I want the business to go in. And, I'm thinking about bringing on an executive assistant possibly here in the next 6 months, maybe sooner, depending on, and it really depends on me on uh, how many more clients we actually bring on. But it gives a direction so that everyone who does eventually become a part of the team, not just employees, but contractors, clients, everyone has a clear picture of where I see the company going, so that we can all move in the same direction. And this is one of the biggest things I noticed, even when I was in the fire service, when I was fire chief of the fire department, is everyone had their own kind of version of how they seen the future of the fire department going. Well, the problem is those versions don't all coincide, where there are little nuances, the little details of how to get to a certain particular uh, spot in that future, how that future looks like, is a little bit differently. And essentially becomes people pulling against people within an organization, within a business. They're pulling in different directions, and it causes friction, it causes problems. And that's a lot of that actually is reminiscent of the uh, I'm not sure if it was the Roman practice or if it was developed before that, but drawing and quartering is essentially how I envision this type of chaos within an organization or a company, where you have people pulling in every direction, and your company or your dream is in the middle. It's a rather excruciating, painful, and bloody mess it creates, drawing and quartering. It's one of the most brutal forms of um, torture that there was. And often, I, if you were getting drawn and quartered, you were dead. I mean, it's a rather gruesome way to die, and that's kind of the way what happened to the fire department that I was chief of, and I tried to get it. I tried to develop that vision and get everyone moving in the same direction. Well, it didn't work. So now, before I get to that point with my company, I'm developing the vision, and this is the way we're moving, and that we're going to keep it that way, so that everyone knows the direction that we want to go. Whether and as we bring people on, be a part of the team, if that vision doesn't kind of if that future doesn't coincide with how they envision themselves, see ya. They'll have fair warning ahead of time. So I think it's great because, number one, it gets everyone on the same page, and number two, it makes sure everyone stays on the same page. And I think it's highly essential. So again, if you're interested in the book, the author's name is Cameron Harold, and the book is Double Double. It's fairly, I mean, it's not like a lot of technical gobbledygook. It's fairly, down to earth. It's an easy read, and it's got a lot of great information in it. I don't even remember how much it was. It was only like, I think maybe $15 on Amazon. Cameron Harold Double Double. Check it out. I highly recommend it. But I need to get to work. Well, I need to get to the store so I can get some coffee, because conference calls start in about 15 minutes. Have a great day. Love, peace, and chicken grease.